In today's fast-paced world of overstimulation, divided attention, and emotional landmines, knowing how to navigate human resistance is not just a social skill, it's a superpower. At the heart of this power lies a profound truth explored by Robert Greene in The Laws of Human Nature. People are emotional, reactive, and often guarded. They resist not only ideas and commands, but even help and opportunities if it doesn't feel right to them. To influence people, lead them, or simply get them to hear you out, you must first understand the deeper currents beneath their surface behavior. Greene calls us to become social alchemists, transforming resistance into openness, not through force, but through awareness, empathy, and subtlety. The first step in softening resistance is recognizing that it stems from fear and ego. Most people, whether they admit it or not, live in a defensive posture. They've been hurt, manipulated, or overlooked, and so they've built internal walls. In the workplace, for instance, when a manager introduces a new system or approach, it's not uncommon for employees to push back, not because the system is flawed, but because it threatens their routine, their perceived status, or their sense of control. Greene emphasizes the importance of entering the emotional reality of others before asserting your own. Instead of pushing forward, pause and ask, how are they seeing this? What might they be afraid of losing? When leaders preface change with validation, I know this is new, and I understand it may seem frustrating at first. They lower the emotional defenses that cause resistance. People are more likely to open up when they feel seen and understood, not steamrolled. One of Greene's most powerful strategies is what he refers to as the neutral mask. In essence, it's the art of hiding your emotions, withholding judgment, and allowing others to project what they need to onto you. This is especially effective in a society that is hypersensitive to tone and subtext. Take, for example, a digital entrepreneur trying to sell a course to an audience that's grown jaded from scammy online offers. Instead of overhyping the product or responding defensively to skepticism, the entrepreneur remains calm, detached, and curious. He listens more than he speaks. He allows prospects to voice concerns without resistance. The moment people feel they're not being sold to, but simply heard and respected, they begin to drop their guard. What's critical here is patience. In an age of urgency, stillness becomes magnetic. When you can withhold your need to be validated or correct, people sense an unusual power in you, one that can't be manipulated or rushed. Greene also teaches that resistance is often softened not by direct confrontation, but by indirection. If you tell someone what to do or believe, they'll push back out of instinct. But if you guide them to the conclusion subtly, they'll think they arrived at it on their own and fiercely defend it. This is the genius behind the law of use the surrender tactic. In modern relationships, whether romantic or professional, this shows up as the art of appearing to give in, all while strategically maneuvering behind the scenes. Imagine you're negotiating with a stubborn business partner who rejects every idea you propose. Instead of arguing, you surrender outwardly. You're right, that approach might not work. What do you think would be more effective? Now, the ego is soothed. You've created the illusion of deference while still directing the flow of the conversation. In most cases, you'll find that the person not only softens, but begins to circle back to your original idea. Only now, they claim it as their own. Let them. The win lies in movement, not credit. Another timeless principle Greene outlines is the law of transforming yourself into a deep listener. Listening, real listening, is a lost art in modern society, especially in the era of social media where everyone is shouting, few are hearing. People crave validation more than answers. When someone vents about their boss, their partner, or their life's problems, most listeners respond by offering solutions. That often backfires. It makes the speaker feel invalidated, or worse, inferior. But the person who listens deeply, nods, mirrors emotions, and then simply says, "That makes total sense," builds trust almost instantly. In sales, in leadership, in love, this is how doors open. It's not about being brilliant, it's about being present. When people feel felt, they stop defending themselves. Greene also explores the use of strategic absence as a way to build desire and reduce resistance. This might seem counterintuitive, but in many cases, backing away is more powerful than chasing. In modern society, especially in the context of digital communication, people grow resistant to what is constantly in their face. That needy follow-up email, the overbearing text, the micromanaging boss. All of these create friction. But when you pull back, people begin to miss the value you brought. For instance, a content creator who suddenly stops posting after building consistency will often find that their audience reaches out, wondering where they've gone. This creates a powerful shift. Now, the audience is seeking them. This principle applies in dating too. The moment you stop trying to convince someone to want you and instead live in your worth, you become more attractive. Less is often more when it's used strategically. Let's also talk about the role of mirroring, a subtle technique Greene touches on throughout his work. In modern interactions, people like people who reflect their own traits. This isn't about manipulation, but rather creating a sense of comfort and familiarity. If someone speaks slowly and softly, mirroring their tone creates a feeling of resonance. If someone values data and logic, you'll break through faster using numbers rather than emotions. The ability to read the room and adapt without losing your core is a sign of emotional mastery. It's why elite negotiators and therapists often seem like everyone they meet. They've mastered the art of dissolving resistance through psychological mirroring. In corporate environments, this is gold. The executive who can speak the language of creatives, analysts, and salespeople alike becomes indispensable. In the end, softening resistance is not about manipulation. It's about respect, timing, and finesse. Greene reminds us that the greatest influencers in history, Lincoln, Mandela, Gandhi, didn't bulldoze their way through opposition. They learned the deeper codes of human behavior. They appealed to identity, to emotion, to ego. And they won hearts by surrendering their need to be right in the moment in favor of being effective over time. In a culture obsessed with virality and instant impact, the ability to play the long game, to bend without breaking, and to sway people without force is what sets apart the true masters of influence. So, whether you're trying to pitch an idea, resolve a conflict, build a brand, or deepen a connection, remember, people are rarely moved by facts alone. They are moved by how you make them feel safe, make them feel seen, and above all, make them feel like it was their idea all along. This is how you become irresistible. This is how you dissolve resistance. And this, in the words of Robert Greene, is the quiet power that rules the world beneath the surface. Thus remember, we are Indeceptor. Becoming Indeceptor is the code they never wanted you to learn. A psychological war map for men, forbidden teachings fused with modern strategy for influence, dominance, and self-mastery. If you want peace, prepare for war.